Tank, what's up, dude? Your question is one that's, I'm sure, fairly common amongst engineers and even producers. And that's how do I make money in the current music industry as a mixing engineer, mastering engineer, and even a producer? And again, the simple, I guess, basic answer would be to charge for your services. But the problem is that nowadays, a lot of people have home studios, and they feel like they can do it on by themselves from their house. Some of them can, and there's somewhat of a disconnect between the traditional way of going to a studio, working with an engineer, and I do think that technology has played a big part in creating that kind of disruption. However, when I look at active artists, professional artists that are active in not only recording but are active in recording and releasing, they have a team of people who make it possible to be creative, but also to kind of almost have an assembly line of what happens, after you write a song, after you record a song, and therefore they're able to continuously release content, and music at the rate that people expect it to come out, now. And if you can't charge for your services, another way to go about doing things is to take a percentage, offer your services for free, and take a percentage of the music that you're putting out or that they're putting out, kind of like a label would traditionally. And the good news is that if you do that, you're able to generate revenue, continuously for a long period of time after you've finished, doing the mixing. And the bad news is that if the artist that you're working with is either not as active, or even if they are active, they're not generating a lot of revenue. It's going to be very difficult to make a good amount of money doing that, and it's going to take a long period of time for that money to come back in, and you might not be able to sustain yourself doing that. One way to look at it is that the recording engineer is really an extension of the producer, if not the producer himself. And that's definitely a way to, if you find the right artist, if you're working with the right artist, to participate in a different side of the revenue if you're part of the production, and helping to actually, arrange the song, not just mix it. I think that's something that would generate more revenue for you, and provide a lot of value for the artist that you're working with. And in addition, just in general, I think it's important to, in any business, but in particular as an engineer, to showcase yourself properly, with a proper website that has a very clear, defined, not just service that you provide, but most importantly, an experience that that you've already done. So, for example, songs that you've worked on, artists that you've worked with, and an easy way to do that, is to create a playlist that has all the songs that you've either mixed or mastered, or produced, or all of those things. And that way, as your potential client is looking at you, they can see those songs, they can hear those songs, and I think that that would immediately give them a much better impression of what potentially they can expect, by working with you. And between either charging for your services, giving away your services for free in exchange for a percentage of the song, being an extension of the producer, and then getting some of the publishing revenue, and properly showcasing yourself with the proper website, and in a playlist, and just some way for it to be digestible for somebody, to a potential client, to see, what kind of work they'd be getting if they work with you, would be the best ways to, in the new music industry, continue to make money as a recording engineer. So hopefully that answers your questions, and if you got some more, send them my way. I got you. All right.